Hey there riders, Moto Journo Kris here, and we've had news of updates to Yamaha's MT-09 for 2021, with the popular midweight naked bike receiving a host of updates. Yamaha are claiming this is an all-new model, and a quick look over the updates support this with a larger, more powerful Euro 5 engine, updated frame and swing arm, IMU for the electronics package adding lean sensitivity to rider aids, a TFT display, new LED headlight, new forks, up-spec brakes, lighter weight and updated style. Arrival in Europe will apparently be from March 2021 in 3 colour options: Storm Fluo or Grey, Iconic Blue and Tech Black, with the new version arriving in Australia in February 2021 with pricing yet to be confirmed. Yamaha Australia do promise supreme bang per buck, but the MT-09 has always been competitively priced, and it will be interesting to see what all the updates add to that figure. Hopefully nothing, but I'm probably dreaming on that one. So let's take a deeper dive into the changes, starting with the triple cylinder power plant. Now Euro 5 compliant, the engine has been bored out by 3mm to a capacity of 889cc, or an additional 42cc in total. Part of this change is no doubt driven by the Euro 5 compliance, while retaining and even increasing power, as is the case here, up to 119 horsepower, peaking at 10,000 RPM, while torque is up to 93 Nm, up almost 6 and peaking much lower in the rev range at 7,500 RPM compared to almost 9,000 previously. The engine itself is also 1.7 kilos lighter, assisting with overall weight savings, with Yamaha stating virtually every component is new, including pistons, conrods, camshafts and crankcase. Also updated is the fuel delivery system, with the injectors mounted to the throttle valve side, injecting onto the back of the intake valve heads, boosting atomization efficiency, as well as helping fuel economy, apparently by 9%. A new assist and slipper clutch has been used with new friction plates and cam angle for a lighter clutch pull, while the transmission is optimized for better first and second gear ratios, and a new shift fork for better shift feel has also been fitted. The air intake is also redesigned to provide more addictive intake howl, with a new 3-duct air cleaner box, which Yamaha explains helps with torque. The exhaust is also updated with stainless steel headers and the muffler section exiting on both sides, but most notably saving 1.4 kilograms over the outgoing model. Now let's talk electronics, with an updated Yamaha chip controlled throttle with new accelerator position sensor grip based on that found on the R1 and the R1M, but of course tuned for the MT-09. A big addition is the inclusion of a 6-axis IMU or inertial measurement unit based on the system found on the R1, which is what provides the info needed for cornering traction control or lean sensitive traction control, alongside a slide control system, lift control system and brake control system, ABS, which also benefits from lean sensitivity. The traction control system runs 3 presets, including an M mode, which stands for manual and offers manual settings, while the existing D mode system continues on, offering switchable engine running modes. Another nice addition to see is the quick shifter moving to an up and down system, with the simple up quick shifter always a great feature on these machines, particularly considering the price of the overall bike. On the chassis side of things, the 2021 MT-09 also received a new controlled filling die-cast aluminium delta box frame with larger twin beams and an increase in lateral rigidity. A die-cast aluminium subframe is also featured, which, along with a new aluminium swing arm with new mounting position, reduce unsprung weight. Total savings across these 3 elements is 2.3 kilograms, mainly in the subframe, which saves 1.5 kilos. Fully adjustable 41mm KYB forks also add additional travel for 2021 and are tuned for the other chassis updates, with shorter front forks necessitating the header pipe position being lowered by 30mm. A new linkage is also found on the rear, with the adjustable KYB rear shock also tuned to take advantage of the decrease in unsprung weight. Another update is the inclusion of a Nissan Radial master cylinder, with Yamaha stating a YZF R1 type front braking system is fitted. They didn't exactly say which calipers are fitted, but they look to be the same as those found on the MT-10, but run with 298mm rotors instead of the 10's larger 320 units. I certainly had no complaints about the brakes on the latest MT-10, while a Radial master cylinder is always nice to see as a more premium feature. The rear brake also seems unchanged. Also new are the wheels, saving 700 grams over the outgoing units with an 11% decrease in the rear wheel's gyroscopic inertia alone. These are apparently made by Yamaha with spin forging the wheels, with the cast wheels heated, spun at speed, and pressure applied via rollers to the rims to reduce their thickness, in this case by 2 mils, without losing any strength. Obviously, wheels being unsprung weight magnify the effect of these weight savings, meaning that 700 grams is likely to be more noticeable to the average rider than elsewhere on the bike, unless it's also unsprung weight. A welcome addition for the tech heads is of course that 3.5-inch TFT display with switch block controls providing access to the various settings, while lighting is LED all around. The style is also significantly different, starting with a new headlight unit that does away with the more bug-like old unit and runs a central light with DRLs flanking it, and is much simpler and a lower profile unit, taking emphasis away from the front end if you ask me. The tank's lines are almost flowing with more integrated air intakes, and painted where the old machine had plastic intakes positioned lower. The new frame is also less complicated and helps highlight the new power plant further with less distractions to the eye. The radiator shrouds do have mouldings into the plastic to make them seem a bit more sporty, but it's a fairly simple unit on each side, ripe for a carbon fibre replacement. The overall look of the bike, to my eye at least, is softer, less angular, less futuristic, and carries a bit more of a traditional feel, perhaps realigning the looks of the bike with a wider audience, where the previous futuristic styling could have been a turn-off for some, although obviously some love it as well. Other details include the fender returning to the undertail from a swingarm mounting point, slightly more angular swingarm lines, as well as the fairly unusual exhaust system, which seems to incorporate an enormous collector. No doubt jam-packed with catalyzers and exiting more towards the ground on both sides. It's certainly not what I'd call pretty, and saying it's eye-catching wouldn't exactly be a compliment, but that's where most of these exhaust systems seem to be heading. At least here in Australia, we'll probably be allowed to fit an aftermarket option, and the question does remain how this new machine will sound. Generally, when manufacturers start talking about intake sound, with many actually engineering it into their machines, it's because regulations are becoming so tight that exhaust noise is going out the window. It does appear as though Yamaha are realigning the MT-09 to compete against the likes of the Street Triple, mid-capacity KTM Dukes, and the up-and-coming Journo 660 more directly, all of which sit at the more premium end of the mid-capacity naked bike range. Adding cornering traction control and ABS alongside a general increase in specifications move the MT-09 into this category, where I'd say previously it proved to be a winner by offering a lower level of specification but also a significantly lower buy-in as well. Now there will be less for the more tech-devoted riders to claim is missing, with the big question being price. The current standard MT-09 is $14,250 here in Australia right away, straight out the door with a year's rego and associated costs. The SP version on the other hand bumps that up to $16,000 out the door. Now as a rider and someone very cheap, ideally I'd like to see no change in price at all. Probably more realistically, I reckon we'll see it bumped up a little, possibly with another SP version further out on the horizon. It's all guesswork at this stage, but interesting to think about nonetheless. As I said earlier, this machine is due in Europe in March 2021 and February in the same year here in Australia, so it's not that far off all things considered. Anyway, that's a look at the information provided by Yamaha so far on the 2021 MT-09. Hopefully I haven't missed anything, but if I have, let me know down below, or what you think generally about this model. And if you'd like to support the channel, sub and hit that notification bell. As always, stay safe out there and thanks for watching.